Good evening, I'm Hugh Downs.
And I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020.
From ABC News, around the world and into your home, the stories that touch your life. This is 2020 with Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. You've seen it in the movie. Tonight, a true exorcism. An eerie, chilling, mesmerizing ritual performed by Roman Catholic priests.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I silence freedom. I command the spirit of evil to leave now.
We don't want to leave. We don't want Gina.
The church insists demonic spirits plague this teenage girl. John Cardinal O'Connor has warned that Satan is among us. His evil spreading.
Sinners! Your world is getting worse. More wars are coming. Do you understand?
2020 followed this story for 12 months. Tonight, Tom Gerald takes you inside the Catholic Church for an extraordinary event never before seen on American television.
God the Father, God the
The
Son,
Exorcism.
God the Spirit.
We're gonna get wasted.
51.
Heaven and hell, do they really exist? Is the devil real? Well, people have anguished over these questions for centuries. The world's nearly 1 billion Roman Catholics are taught that the devil indeed exists, that he is in our midst, and that social ills like pornography and drugs and violence are evidence of his handiwork. But when the subject is Satan, nothing is more provocative, more terrifying, more fascinating than the ritual of exorcism. Tonight, in a two-part report, we will show you an actual exorcism. And nothing like this has ever been seen on American television.
And the fact that exorcism still takes place surprises many people. But about a year ago, we read about one, and we then located two Catholic priests who are experts on demonology and exorcism. After numerous conversations and the full consent of the clergy and the family involved, we were allowed to watch. And in Tom Gerald's report, you'll see the same extraordinary process of discovery that we went through. One note, some of the sights and sounds, particularly in part 2, may be disturbing, certainly for children.
O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile.
The Holy Mass, the centerpiece of worship for the Roman Catholic Church. This early weekday morning service is peaceful, serene, and the source of spiritual inspiration, both for the congregation and the priests who lead it.
God of power and might, heaven and earth are full of...
Father James Labar draws strength from its celebration. Willpower that's essential when Labar participates in another ancient church ritual, the rite of exorcism.
The devil does exist, evil does exist, and possession is possible and does happen.
All glory and honor is yours, Almighty Father.
And this is accepted by all who are in communion with the church.
Labar works closely with one of the few exorcists in the Catholic Church. He calls himself Father A for anonymous.
It is a struggle between two opponents for survival, as it were, in one respect. In this case, it's the struggle with evil.
We all are trying to be good. We're trying to know and love and serve God to the best of our ability. But sometimes we want to do it on our terms instead of His terms.
It's been known by many names down through the centuries. The devil, Beelzebub, Satan, Lucifer.
From Catholic teaching and from the Bible itself, we know the devil is a fallen angel. He lost his identity with God, but he didn't lose the powers that he had.
Satan, according to those who believe in exorcism, is capable of possessing the minds of innocent human victims and turning them evil. The Catholic Church's Book of Rituals includes a group of ancient prayers called the Rite of Exorcism. When these special prayers are spoken to a possessed person, the believers say, the demons must leave. Exorcism has become a highly controversial procedure. Years ago, mental disorders like Tourette syndrome, schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, even problems like epilepsy, were misdiagnosed as cases of demonic possession. As modern science showed that those were medical problems, the practice of exorcism sharply declined. But interest was rekindled in 1973 after the release of the film, The Exorcist, which was based on an actual, well-documented case of suspected possession. The highly dramatized film seems so far-fetched that exorcism was still largely dismissed as the stuff of horror movies. But then, last year in New York, an incredible secret was revealed.
At St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan, exorcism came out of the dark of the past and returned to the world of the present. The date last March 4th. At this landmark church, one of the nation's most powerful spiritual leaders, John Cardinal O'Connor, delivered a provocative message, warning the devil was real, his evil was spreading, and exorcisms approved by the church were being used to rid some people of their demons.
With the Cardinal's revelation that 2 exorcisms had been performed recently, the ancient rite once again became the focus of a controversy between the church and modern psychiatry, between religious beliefs and medical science. But could those remarkable claims of demonic possession be true? Father A is the officially sanctioned exorcist called upon by the New York Archdiocese. He's the priest who had performed those 2 previous exorcisms. After the Cardinal's announcement, Father Labar, who assists Father A, received over 75 cases from all over the country to investigate. It's a painstaking process that can take over 6 months before the church will approve an exorcism.
Father, how carefully are the subjects screened before an exorcism is agreed to?
The first thing we want to do is make sure they have no medical problems that they're falsely attributing to diabolical powers.
Then I will sit down with a couple of psychiatrists as well as psychologists that I know. We'll go over the cases and talk about them.
The 4 major signs that we look for in someone we suspect is possessed would be, first of all, they would have great strength. Then they have levitation. They will rise off the ground with no particular reason. Then they'll have clairvoyance. They'll be able to tell you something that happened at a distance, something they couldn't possibly know. And then generally they will speak in languages that they never studied.
Sometimes the person will react just by the fact that I've come. And as a result of it, we have an indication that there is something there.
Other experts in the church are less certain about the procedure. With experience as both a Jesuit priest and a psychiatrist, Dr. James Gill has extensive knowledge in the realm of religion and the science of the mind.
So I think there's a tendency to interpret what you see in terms of the background that you have. So that if you have a background in theology, you're inclined to think theologically and think, well, maybe this is a battle of evil versus good, Satan versus God, and to quickly rush in with that interpretation.
I came out with strange voices, things that I had been seeing and stuff.
One case Father Labar received involved 16-year-old Gina.
I saw demons and stuff, people who died.
For years, Gina had violent seizures in which she would spit, vomit, scream in strange voices,
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was my mind.
And have visions of demons. She had not attended school for several months.
You know, it's something not natural of the human being. It's something from evil.
In an attempt to stop the bizarre outbursts, her mother, Felisa, had taken Gina to a self-professed psychic healer.
The guy told me she's like a possessed.
He just scratched me in the back with the scissors and over here in front of the chest because he was a spiritist and we thought he was going to do some exorcism because he said I had something wrong with me, and I told my mother I didn't want to go. But she said, it's good for you. I said,
but Gina's behavior only worsened.
And these voices, she makes the voices at night in her room?
In the middle of the night.
Gina had spent 2 months in the Miami Children's Hospital psychiatric ward, where she had been treated by Dr. Warren Slanger.